Hey guys, it's Miss Jackson. Today we are working on multiplying and dividing rational numbers. So we are going to review the process for multiplying and dividing positive decimals in our table. And then those same rules are going to apply when we go to multiplying and dividing positive and negative decimals. All right, when we multiply decimals, we're going to multiply the digits as usual, ignoring the decimal point. The product or the answer to the multiplication problem will have the same number of places behind the decimal as the multiplicand and the multiplier combined. Okay, whenever we see the word combined, you need to be thinking about addition. All right, so we line up our digits when we multiply decimals. We do not line up decimal points. Okay. Now that I have it lined up, I can start my multiplication process. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 8 is 24, put my 4, carry my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And 3 times 1 is 3. Now that I've used 3, I'm going to put my placeholder and I cross out everything I need to. And now I'm going to multiply by 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 8 is 48. Put my 8, carry my 4. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. Put my 6, carry my 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now that I have my two sets of numbers, I need to add those up. Make sure I am carrying. And I have 80640. Now we are going to combine the places behind the decimal. And I'm going to switch colors just so you can see. My first number that I multiply by has 2 places behind the decimal. My second number only has 1 place. When I combine them, 2 plus 1 is 3. So that means that my product will then need to have 3 places behind the decimal. So we start at the back side of the number. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to put my decimal point. Because this has a 0 on the end, we do not need to include that in our answer. It is just a placeholder. It does not change the value if it's on the end of the number. Okay? And there is our answer for multiplying decimals. And this should be a review from 6th grade. In order to do division, so in order to make the divisor a whole number, multiply it by a power of 10, multiply the dividend by the same power of 10, divide, bring the decimal directly above into the quotient. That is a lot of vocabulary. And if you just hang tight, we will work it out and make sure everybody's on the same page. All right, so when we divide, we have 43 7/10 divided by 19. What we're looking for here is that we need to make sure that our divisor is a whole number, and our divisor is the number on the outside. If it is a whole number, you're going to leave it alone. You're going to bring your decimal point straight up, divide like normal. Okay, 19 cannot go into 4. 19 can go into 43, and it's going to go in there 2 times. Okay, 2 times 19 is 38. Again, if you need to pause this so you can work it out on your own, come back and check the work. That's what you need to do on your own. 43 minus 38 is 5. Okay, I'm going to bring down my 7. Now I have 57. 19 goes into 57 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27, carry the 2. And 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. 57 minus 57 is 0. That means that my division is done. So my answer to this one is 2 3/10. Again, I highly suggest that you pause the video, do the work on your own, come back and get the explanation. Okay, scrolling up. Use your understanding of integer rules and multiplication and division of decimals to solve the problem below. If the signs are the same, the product or the quotient is positive. Okay, we just talked about that in the last lesson. If the signs are the same, your answer is positive. If the signs are different, then our answer will be negative. Same sign, positive answer. Opposite sign, negative answer. All right, so we have 4 and 5 tenths times 3. So again, I'm going to stack, line up my digits, not my decimals. 5 times 3 is 15. Put my 5, carry my 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. All right, I have one place after my decimal, no places after my decimal, and so I just need one place and then my decimal. So my answer here is 13 and 5 tenths. They are same signs, so my answer is positive, and I'm going to go ahead and put a box around my answer. All right, let's look at the next one. -5 divided by -2. Again, same sign, so my answer is going to be positive. I'm going to set up my problem. Oh, probably need to move that down a little bit so I have some room to work. Cowboy goes inside the house. Horse has to stay outside. 2 goes into 5 2 times. And I have 1 left over. Obviously, we cannot leave it like that, so I'm going to annex a decimal, bring it straight up, and a 0, bring down my 0. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. A negative divided by a negative is a positive answer, and my answer here is 2 and 5 tenths, so 2.5. All right, I have 2 negatives. We're going to multiply them together here on the next problem. So I am going to stack them. And again, same sign, positive answer. Again, I'm lining up my digits. I'm not lining up my decimals, and then I will multiply. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, carry the 1. And 2 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. I have 1 place after my decimal. No places after my decimal. It means my answer will only have 1. And my answer is 31 and 2 tenths. And it is positive. Same signs, positive answer. I, again, highly, highly, highly suggest that you are working these out on your own, pausing the video, and then jumping back onto the video and checking your answers. Okay, here is the first time we're actually going to have to make sure our divisor is a whole number. So I am going to set up the problem, and I'm going to set it up 4 and 32 hundredths divided by 1 and 2 tenths. Okay. The number on the outside is not a whole number. And in order to get it to be a whole number, I need to move the decimal place 1 place or multiply by 10. Whatever you do to one number, we will have to do to the second number. Okay, moving the decimal place 1 place to the right is the same as multiplying by 10. If you move it 2 places to the right, you're multiplying it by 100, 3 places, 1,000, and so on. So now my new division problem is going to be 43 and 2 tenths divided by 12. That way I'm only dealing with 1 decimal. I know how to put it into my answer. I bring it straight up into the division problem. All right, 12 will go into 43 3 times. Gives me 36. I have 7 left over. I bring down 2. And 12 goes into 72 6 times. Oops. Let's try that again. 6 times minus 72. And then my division is done. Again, same sign, positive answer. I am going to switch colors because I'm getting a little jumbled over here. It is 3 and 6 tenths. All right, let's move on to some more division and multiplication problems. If the signs are different, then our product or quotient will be negative. Okay, so again, we need to look at the first one. We have a negative answer because we have opposite signs. we will go ahead and line them up. 2 and 5/10 times 7. And again, we are lining up digits. We are not lining up decimals. 5 times 7 is 35. So I put my 5, carry my 3. And 7 times 2 is 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. I have one place for my decimal, one place in my answer. My final answer is going to be 17 and 5/10. I need to make sure I'm putting that negative sign on there. Negative 17 and 5/10 and positive 17 and 5/10 are not the same number, not the same answer, and it will be counted wrong if it doesn't have the negative on it, okay? All right, next problem. We have 8 and 2/10 divided by -4. Again, they're opposite signs, so my answer is going to be negative. I'm going to go ahead and set it up. I need to make sure the number on the outside is a whole number. My divisor is a whole number so that I can actually divide and not need to move my decimal places. 8 divided by 4 is 2. I bring down my 2, bring up my decimal point, and 2 divided by 4. I cannot do that, so I need to put a 0 in my answer. I also need to put a 0 to bring down to keep my division going. 20 divided by 4 is 5. All right, again, I have opposite signs, so I'm going to move down. My answer has to be negative 2 and 5/100. Okay. All right, moving on, we have another multiplication. This one is same sign, so my answer is going to be a positive answer. They threw that one in there to trick you. 5 times 8 is 40, so I put my 0, carry my 4. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 plus 4 is 9. And then 5 times 1 is 5. So for this one, I have one place, I have 59. You can either leave your answers 59 and 0/10, or it's perfectly acceptable just to write 59. And again, it is going to be a positive answer because they were same signs. So either one of those answers are perfectly correct. All right, and then the last one for decimals is going to be 32 divided by -5. And they are opposite signs, so my answer will be negative. 32 does go on the inside. 5 is your divisor. They are all whole numbers here, so I don't need to worry about moving my decimal place just yet, but I might need to add one in there. 5 cannot go into 3, so I put a 0. 5 goes into 32 6 times, and then I subtract 30, and I'm left with 2. Because my division is not done, I need to annex that decimal and that 0. I'm going to bring on my decimal and bring my 0 down. 5 goes into 20 4 times, okay? And I do know this is jumbled, so I'm going to rewrite my answer. -6 and 4/10. And again, it's negative because I have opposite signs. Okay? All right, so that wraps it up for decimals. Again, what you need to remember is that the number you're dividing by, so your divisor, must be a whole number. If it is not a whole number, then you are moving the decimal place in both the divisor and the dividend to make it a whole number. How many times you move it on the outside, you have to go on the inside and move that decimal place as many times as well. And then the important thing to remember when we're multiplying is that we are combining the number of decimal places to get the number for our answer. All right, let's go on to the next page. And we are talking about fractions. To me, multiplying and dividing fractions is so much easier than adding and subtracting them. We don't have to worry about common denominators here, but we still do need to simplify. All right. First things first, we need to change each mixed number to an improper fraction. That makes it so much easier to multiply and divide, as well as adding and subtracting. Once we change them into improper fractions, then we are going to multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. And then your absolute favorite thing to do is to simplify. Most people hate, oh, there's my lovely babies. Most people hate to simplify, and I do understand it's just one extra step in the process. Um, all right, so first things first, change the mixed number to an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. We're going to add 1 is 3, and we put it over our same denominator, which is 2. So now I have 3 over 2. Following my directions, I'm going to multiply my numerators. So 7 times 3 is 21. And then 8 times 2 is 16. All right, guys, we need to simplify here. 16 goes into 21 one time with 5/16 left over. I will accept either one of those answers. My goal for you is to for sure get here. And then by the end of 7th grade, I want you to feel comfortable simplifying so we can have the most correct answer. All right, let's talk about dividing fractions. So moving over. We need to change each mixed number into an improper fraction. Then we are going to rewrite the first fraction. Change the division to multiplication. And then find the reciprocal of the second fraction. I like to shorten this to keep, change, change. So when they say rewrite the first fraction, what they're doing is rewriting it as its improper fraction. So we're going to keep it, change it, flip it. Okay, keep, change, flip. It's what I like to use, KCF. All right, so let's look at the first fraction. We need to change this, so we need to rewrite the first one in an improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. So I'm at 11/4 divided by 2/3. And again, this should be a review for you from 6th grade. Now that I have 11/4 divided by 2/3, I'm going to keep it, change it to multiplication, flip the second one to find its reciprocal. Okay, so we're at 11/4 multiplied by the reciprocal 3/2. Okay, 11 times 3 is 33, and 4 times 2 is 8. 8 goes into 33 4 times, and I have 1/8 left over. Okay. Keep, change, flip. 4 and 1/8 left over. All right, let's do some practice. Use your understanding of the integer rules and multiplication and division of fractions to solve the problems below. If the signs are the same, then we have a positive answer. And if the signs are different, then the product of the quotient is negative. All right. Again, we are just multiplying. So 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. We do need to simplify this. 15 and 6 both have common factors of 3, so we can divide out 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. This is just a hint. Anytime you see when you're multiplying the original problem that you have the same numbers, you can go ahead and cross those out, and then your fraction here is 2/5, which we just got right there. Okay? All right. And again, same signs, positive answer. Here we have negative 5, 6 times negative 3, 4. So they have the same sign. We don't have any numbers we can cancel out, so we'll just multiply straight across. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 4 is 24. And we do have a common factor of 3. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And that's as simplified as you can go. Okay. Again, I will accept either one of those answers. Obviously, the one in the box is the most correct. All right, so now we're moving on to our first division problem. They have the same signs. Our answer is going to be positive. And I'm going to do keep, change, flip. Keep, change, reciprocal, however you need to remember it. That's what works best for you. Okay, 3/10 times 5/4. I went ahead and left off their negative signs because I know my answer is going to be positive, and then I'm just going to multiply straight across. 3 times 5 is 15, and 10 times 4 is 40. They do have a common factor, and it is 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 5. 40 divided by 5 is 8. And again, I will accept either one of those answers. Please make sure you have the correct sign, and in this case, it is positive. All right. We are dividing 1 3/8 divided by 1/8. I need to go ahead and change into improper fractions first. Keep, change, flip second. 1 times 8 is 8, plus 3 is 11. And I am dividing by 1/8. Now that I have my improper fractions, let's go ahead and do keep, change, flip. So keep, change, reciprocal. 11/8, change it to multiplication. So inverse of division is multiplication. The inverse of 1/8 is 8/1. And then we just multiply. I have the same numbers, top and bottom, so I can cancel out if I want to. So my answer would be 11/1, which is 11. Or we can actually divide them, and we can work that out too. 11 times 8 is 88, and 8 times 1 is 8. And when I work that out, 88 divided by 8 is 11. So either way, you're going to get the same answer here. The answer is 11. One is just a little bit easier, and you didn't have to do any simplifying. All right, and again, same signs, positive answer. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to pause the video, be working these out on your own as you would be in class, and then restarting your video so that you can check your answers. All right, I have negative 2/3 divided by 1/2, and my answer is going to be negative because I have opposite signs. And so we'll do keep, change, flip. Keep the negative 2/3, change it to multiplication, flip the 1/2 to 2/1. I have negative 2 times times positive 2 is negative 4, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, 3 goes into 4 one time with 1/3 left over. And again, everything here is negative because I have opposite signs, so it is negative. All right, next one, 2.5 times negative 3/4. I need to change this into an improper fraction. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5/2 times negative 3/4. And again, I have opposite signs, so my answer is negative. I'm going to keep those negatives in there. Move down here to 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And 2 times 4 is going to be 8. 8 goes into 15 one time with 7/8 left over. Please, please, please don't lose that negative going from the answer to the simplified answer. Don't lose that. Make sure that it also does carry over as well. All right, I have 2 negatives on this one, so it looks like we goofed again. So these are same signs, positive answer. And we need to do keep, change, flip here. I have 8/9. and change it to a multiplication, and then I have 9/4. And again, I'm going to go ahead and drop those negative signs because I know my answer is positive. Here I have two numbers that are across from each other, so I can cancel them out. So I have 8/4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Again, if you don't feel comfortable crossing those out, you can work that out. It's just going to make you do a little bit more multiplication, a little bit more simplifying. So 8 times 9 is 72, and 9 times 4 is 36. 36 goes into 72 two times. Okay, so my answer here is positive 2. All right, last problem. Again, I love multiplying fractions because you do not need common denominators. All we got to do is multiply straight across. I know my answer is negative because I have opposite signs. 7 times 1 is 7, and 10 times 4 is 40. 40 and 7 do not have any common multiples, or I'm sorry, common factors, so we cannot simplify it. 7 is prime, so we're going to leave it as negative 7/40. All right, guys. Let me zoom out a little bit. We have one more thing we need to talk about. And it says the rules can be expanded with more than two terms. So in the last lesson, I told you this was only going to apply to two terms. Okay. So we're going to look for a pattern to see what rules we can apply to more than one term. So again, I have a negative times a negative is a positive solution. Okay. We know that. Same signs, positive solution. I have 1, 2, 3 negatives, which means I'm getting a negative solution. When I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm getting a positive solution. When I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives, I get a negative solution. So the pattern that I'm hoping you're picking up on here is that when there's an even number of negatives, the solution is positive. So an even number of negatives equals a positive solution. Okay, and that goes 1, 2. We have an even number because we have 2, means positive solution. 4 is an even number, positive solution. When we have an odd number of negatives, we will have a negative solution. And you can see that in the table on the left side. Odd, 3 is odd, negative solution. 5 is odd, negative solution. Okay, so that'll help you when you're multiplying more than two terms together to figure out if it's positive or negative. All right, let's take a glance at homework. You're going to match each correct answer to a letter and complete the riddle below. So on your homework, I have included text boxes here for you. So I just need you to write your answer there. And then I've included just one large text box at the bottom. So if you want to go out and fill in the riddle, just to check and make sure that your answer makes sense, remember same signs, positive answer, opposite signs, negative answer. And I would go ahead and write that at the top for you so that you don't get confused. Same sign, positive, opposite signs, negative. And then just your rules for division when you're dividing fractions. We want to use keep, change, flip. Okay. Again, please, 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 please pause that video, work those problems out on your own so that when you get to the homework side of things, that you have just a little bit extra practice and that you're able to work those out on your own. Um, I don't have anything else for you guys. Please, if you need me, email me, send me a comment on Google Classroom. Try to get in touch with me the best way that you know how, and I will do my best to answer your questions for you. All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Let me know what you need.